Hello, my name is Adriana Molovar. I am a student here at Western Washington University, majoring in creative writing and minoring in music, Spanish, and education and social justice. Full disclosure, I am in my dorm room because that's where I live as a resident advisor, so that's why the background is not the greatest. I also have an emotional support animal, so a cat, and so she roams around. I couldn't have anybody watch her for this. So if you see her roaming around or you hear weird things, that's because she's around. Okay, so first question was describe a situation where your ability to stay calm under pressure was tested. What was my situation and how did I handle it? So, as a resident advisor, we go through different types of scenarios all the time. And one situation when I was on call, where I had to make rounds around the community, there was two residents who I found on one of the roofs, and that was really stressful. And I think this is my first year being a resident advisor, so I was definitely under pressure, making sure that what I was doing was right. And but I think I remembered, what I needed to do. And as resident advisors, we don't do rounds alone, we do them with a partner. So I was there with my partner. I called her up to help me out, and and so that was very comforting. But I just handled it like I needed to handle it, which was I needed to ask for their IDs, for documentation. I let them know that they broke policy, and then I had to make an incident report because they broke one of the policies. And yeah, so I guess that's how I handle it. I definitely had to remain calm for my sake and for the sake of the residents, so they wouldn't freak out or think that they were in trouble, because it was just a situation where I needed to make sure that they were safe. So yeah. The second question was, can you describe a time when you showed initiative to take the lead at work or on a team project? So, I think we've all almost done this in school with projects. I definitely had to take leadership in those parts, some projects, because sometimes people were not willing to do the work. Or not willing to start a conversation. Um, so I would have to take lead in those projects. I think also, again, relating back to my job as a resident advisor, I had to sometimes take lead even though we are partnered up with a partner. Um, we are they separate us between primary, who is the person that will take care of a situation, and secondary. And so sometimes I would challenge myself to, even though I was a secondary, to handle situations and to take the lead in order to for self growth and to learn more about the job. So I guess that's the time when I also took initiative and took matters into my own hands. So yeah. Um, Describe a time when you received negative feedback. How did you take it? What did you do with that feedback? Um, I I have received uh, feedback a lot on my writing as a creative writing major, and I've just kind of learned to take the negative compliments and see them as a positive. I will say that in the past, definitely it brought me down a lot, but now I take it as a way to reflect on what I did, what I could do better, um, and then from there work on it. Especially with writing, it's such a it varies. I think, like, there is better ways to do it, and I definitely had to deal with people giving me feedback, a lot of it which sometimes wasn't the nicest, both from professors and sometimes from my family members. And though it was hard, I think I have always tried to look at it in a positive way, or I've tried to learn how to look at it in a positive way. So now if I do receive negative feedback, I try my best to implement the feedback that I got into bettering myself and getting better in my writing or in whatever I do. So I guess that's how I take it. I just make sure that I take it with a good attitude. Yeah. How do you keep tasks organized and meet deadlines? So again, back to being an RA, I get a lot of skills from being a resident advisor, but we have deadlines often, and we also have to keep organized because otherwise our schedules can, or our academics can go down from there, and that's something very important. When you're in a resident advisor, you have to keep your grades up. So a way that I've tried to maintain myself organized is by using a calendar. I use Outlook to always keep track of what I have to do. I also recently been making lists to see what tasks I still need to do and which ones are more urgent and whatnot. And so that's how I think I keep myself organized, by doing that. And for me, using multiple like things, using multiple ways of organizing has helped me too. So I don't only use Outlook. I also I have this big calendar on my wall, to my left actually, where I keep the things that are gonna be happening that day, so I know what's going on. And yeah, and especially because as a RA we have to meet with like one-on-one with all of our residents. Trying to keep track of that is very important. So I definitely use the resources that I have to keep in track and keep with deadlines. And sometimes if I can, I do it right away so I don't forget. And yeah, I think that's how I keep myself organized. Last question is, tell us about a time when you have developed a partnership with someone different from you to achieve common goals or share interests. So, like I said, as a resident advisor, we do rounds, and we're on call with different people in different days sometimes. I've gotten to work with multiple people, sometimes that they're different than me for sure, that they do things differently. And I've learned that that a way to kind of work through it is just to voice concerns and to really be open to communication and listening and being able to give feedback, and also to receive feedback, because I realized that this is my first year. So last quarter I was partnered up with a returner, and I used that opportunity to learn a lot from her, and about the community, because she was also in this community that I'm in last year. So I guess that's how I tried to. That's a situation where I dealt with somebody that we were not the same. We were not even on the same level because I was a newbie. I still am learning it on the job, and she had done this already a year. So, and yeah, and even this quarter, I've also been partnered up with somebody who is just as new as to this as I am, but either way has different ways of approaching rounds or being on call. So I suggest open communication. I've figured out that that's one good way to do it. And also, just in general, like I said, I have one-on-ones with my residents, and a lot of my residents are not how I am as a person. And so, and it's not a partnership, but still, part of our job is to build community somehow. So I have to almost put aside, kind of like what I have to put aside my personal way of thinking for the sake of them. and for the sake of building community with them. So yeah, I think that's what I would say. Well, I hope that you guys consider me for this. I'm super excited to hear back. Thank you for allowing me to do this via video. I know it can be a little inconvenient. I couldn't make it to the training because of my job, but I'm still very happy that I was allowed to still do an interview. Yeah, thank you.